Hello guys, how are you? Welcome to a new video on the channel. Today we bring something very special for all those who love sports, travel, create content, because with this drone we will be able to take the best shots automatically, as it will avoid obstacles. And it will have many tracking options and different modes. And it has an 8000 camera and even records vertically. It's the Young One Pro Max, which honestly has me very amazed because it has an incredible flight capacity and an amazing resolution in its camera. Let's get to know it to see what it's capable of in today's video, so get comfortable and stay with me here. This drone is the work of 00 Robotics, a brand that without a doubt has been revolutionizing for years the way we understand what autonomous flight is. They started with the camera passport. They have evolved over time with many models. But they have come to bring this gem, this Young One Pro Max, which seems to be setting the bar very high. And if you enjoy this type of content, don't forget to leave your like, subscribe, and activate notifications. Now let's go with the unboxing of all these boxes, of this piece of combo that we have here, so you can see what's inside them. Over here we have all the boxes, the drone, the Young X1 with its accessories, and the transport backpack. From a very beautiful minimalist box in black color, all the boxes are the same color, they are black. Isn't this little box very pleasant to the touch? As it comes with these little drops, as mentioned, in shiny black color and contrast very well with the matte black. From the box itself, we are going to take it out to see. We have inside a very beautiful box, a packaging. The truth is quite beautiful and modern, with reflective letters. Here we have an indicator, an arrow that tells us to open it from here. We open it this way and we already see the drone appear. We are going to leave it here, okay? And we are going to look underneath because it tells us that there are more things here. Please read before your first flight. It tells us to read it before flying. In this little box, we see that they give us an info card. These seem to be stickers. They are vinyls to stick to the device itself. And here, of course, the user manual. Seems like a little charging cable. A quite short charging cable, about 40 centimeters long. USB-C to USB-C. This looks like a little case, and honestly, it's a fabric case for transportation. The name Hover is very nice. And this would be everything that comes inside this box. Let's go with the next box. With this power case, we open it this way. Okay, and let's see what we have inside. Only the power case comes? Okay. It looks like a briefcase, a totally black travel briefcase with this leather finish, with the Hover here on the front, this little button to open it, here that says Thermo in red. The button with the battery indicator LEDs on here, like a little screen. So it looks like a screen similar to the one the drone has. On the top, the metallic finishes and the in-out for the battery charging. We open it, instructions. I guess the tape that from there, these side hooks for this tape, I suppose it will go through here. Here we will close and we will already have a little travel tape to carry it hanging. And inside here, as you can see, we would carry, if you can see well, there the contactors for the batteries. This would be everything that would come inside this accessory. Next accessory, the Bacon Joystick bundle, which would be the joystick with which we are going to be able to control our device. Let's open it. Also a leather case with a very well finished texture. It feels of very good quality, and we open the little case. User guide, the different cables with Lightning and USB Type-C on one side and USB-C to USB-C on the other side. The USB-C with the pin contactor for charging, I suppose, the device. And we see that it comes in several parts aside. The dial, the pin contactors, and for the joystick. This, I suppose, will be the other side. We have the button to shoot and capture, I suppose, with pin contactor. It probably opens the same way with the USB-C charger on this side. This last module, which apparently will be the display crosspad menu button, the display, the little screen, okay? And this is supposed to go this way like this. And this here goes magnetized. As you can see, it turns, and we would have our controller. Only missing to include the joystick that come, well, with a groove. We have two with a barrel-like groove and two other joysticks. I'm gonna take them out so you can see them up close. Two with a groove to put your finger in and two flat ones. And here we would have our controller to be able to control the joystick with the screen and to be able to hold the mobile here and up here. As I mentioned before, ideal trigger to move the camera on the gimbal. And finally, this travel backpack where we will have the rest of the accessories that we have yet to see. Let's see, because it has a zipper. Yes, it does open here to store different accessories. It opens like into the rings to be able to put on it. I suppose a ribbon will come through here. Remember that this is the super hyper mega combo, but in which everything is worth it. Adapted from current neutral density filter, battery charger case. The fabric appears to be a durable, waterproof material commonly used for backpacks, shown here in white with the hover design. Let's open the last pocket. Magnetic adapter. Tape to be able to hook the other magnetic clip. This is a magnetic clip, a battery, and another battery. Piece of packaging. We are doing with this HoverAir one. As you can see, it is the same as the one that the drone itself comes with. Here it says smart thermos, battery, magnetic adapter, the typical one like the GoPro, and a 1/4-inch thread. Underneath, of course, the tape, the magnetic clip adapter. Here is the magnet and the clamp. Double battery charger, and good to indicate the battery level of both. The USB-C for charging, the 65W power adapter, very heavy. It feels very well built. USB-C and European connection. The neutral density filters, super important for traveling and flying outdoors during the day. Wow, very good. Here we open with a filter cleaner and the 4 filters of different densities. Let's see if we can. Can you read it? The one of 8, the of 16, the one of 32, and the one of 64. Different steps to make a correction. Remember, these are like sunglasses. Anyone who knows what a neutral density is already has a head start, but this is nothing more, nothing less than a limitation of light. And it's great that we have 4 different steps. In this case, one doesn't go on top of the other, I suppose. They are independent of different densities, but look at the quality of the finishes. This is everything that comes inside this backpack. Well, we have all the products out of their boxes. Have you seen what a piece of combo that packaging is so professional? As usual, I'll begin by discussing the device's size, which is crucial for us given that it's a travel drone. Closed. The drone measures about 14.5 centimeters long by 10 centimeters high and about 3.6 centimeters thick. As soon as we open it, we do have about 17.5 centimeters from side to side of the drone. The weight would be 192.5 grams, about 195, between 190 and 195 and 1. Construction in a plastic material called HEM, and it's a very flexible and super resistant material, since it will prevent it from breaking casually that it collides and can break. These plastic parts? The device comes nicely covered in an elegant black color, with an appealing aesthetic and propeller cover, and with this fold that is magnetized on its propellers. Just do this and it will open. We move on to talk about the main module, which is this part here, where we will have the battery that will simply be removed by pulling it out. A screen where we can see a display where all the modes and any message or notification are simply by tapping it, and the battery level will appear. These 3 buttons, the central button and the scroll button, to configure and scroll through the menus. Right side with ventilation in this part here. Left side also with ventilation. These grills. We also have here on the back the USB-C for charging and connecting and downloading files, and a slot for micro-secure digital cards that can give us a maximum storage with a card of up to 1 terabyte. It comes with an internal storage of 64 gigabytes, more than enough to be able to record for 1 or 2 days continuously, or even more if you make shorter videos. It is recommended to have a microSD card that is at least category V30 or V60. plus 10, and that has a minimum write speed of 100 megabytes per second. To record in high dynamic range at maximum resolution, use 8K video settings. On the back we find a camera with sensors. It does not have an omnidirectional sensor, but it has a sensor on the back and on the bottom. What will we see now? A 2-axis gimbal, even though we can take vertical shots, okay? Would it only have 2 axes? Then, on the front of the gimbal, we find its camera with its sensor, which I will talk about now. After it, with a 16mm lens, and on the bottom we see at the very top this camera. Also with the sensors for positioning and collisions. The main speaker through which we will have communication with the device. Below, the microphone to also, as I mentioned, make a two-way communication, and more breaths to keep the device always cooled to optimal conditions. Now, if we move on to talk about the camera, we have a 1-inch complementary metal oxide semiconductor sensor divided between 1.3, the same sensor used by the Insta360 and the DJI Action 5, a very good sensor with very good capacity. 14 steps of dynamic range. We find a profile that is not logarithmic, but we have a 10-bit high dynamic range hybrid log gamma, which will give us a very wide dynamic range to work in shadows in low light conditions. Okay? And as I was telling you, a 16mm objective, okay, which will give us a maximum aperture of approximately 107 degrees. Okay? Improving compared to previous versions that were at 104 degrees. It also has a zoom that we can use up to 1:3, 1:4, I think I saw, and a maximum aperture of f2.5. We have a very good camera that offers resolutions in 8024, 25 and 30 frames per second, 4000 up to 120 frames per second. We have a slow motion option, okay? And 4K, obviously, at 60, 50, 30, 25 and 24. Of course, we also have 1080 options available. But, well, for all those, the 8K is a profile that needs a lot of post-production work that requires a good machine to handle it. But with a 4K at 60 frames at 50 frames, we will be able to do more than enough slow motion, and if we record in high dynamic range, we are going to have an incredible image quality. Regarding batteries, we have one that will last us about 15 minutes of optimal duration. Resistance from wind, altitude, and drone operation mode affect our work depending on the conditions. A battery of 1920 mAh, which in this case, this is the Pro. In this case, sorry, this is the Pro Max. But over here we have the batteries, the Thermo, okay? Just like this case, we can work with them in very cold conditions down to -20 degrees. Do you know that when batteries exceed a certain temperature, they either overheat or stop working? These batteries are designed for that. If we go to the snow, since it has ski mode, we will have batteries to work without any problem. More than 10 flight modes, which I will also comment on now. And we have everything we need to work automatically without needing to give any kind of instructions. Just set the height at which we want it to record, the distance at which we want it to record, and press the little button and have it follow us. We will need to communicate with the LED, which I haven't mentioned before, as we will see. Green indicates a connection, while red signifies active recording. Blinking red, yellow or white indicates a detection failure. But overall, we have an incredible ease of use, both automatically and from our mobile device. Like from this beacon we have here. Since it has a maximum flight altitude of 5,500 meters, that's what the manufacturer recommends. It won't be able to reach more, it's too much, and an effective distance of 1 kilometer with this beacon, which besides being a remote control, we can connect. As you will be seeing the images with magnetic anchors, it will give us a perfect tracking reference. Even under low light conditions, the drone will be able to follow this beacon. With these magnets, these clips that we have here, well, being able to put it on the bicycle, on our wrist, being able to handle everything tactically or even use the joystick and handle it manually. Just like we're going to do on the mobile phone, but the communication with a mobile, being internal, is not going to be as effective. If we go too far, we might get the typical loading logo and it gives us, well, that communication problems, okay? Important updates that they have put in this drone is the Omni-Terrain, okay? The little logo that will appear up here can fly over any surface at any height. If we're on a cliff, we can safely release the drone without risk of it falling, okay? That it detaches, or if we are on some surface, like it could be a lake, a reservoir, a puddle in the sea, okay? That normally drones tend to have quite a lot of difficulties, also these autonomous ones, in detecting surfaces. Well, it comes with that update that we can be calm to fly it anywhere. And then with the Wi-Fi CIs, a Wi-Fi 6 that will allow us to download the files at a higher speed from our device and have a better and smoother communication with the drone, okay? The issue of distance and altitude has been mentioned, but it can resist. We're talking about Category 5 winds, which are approximately 30 to 35 kilometers per hour. I've flown it in quite a bit of wind, and it's a very light drone weighing less than 200 grams, and obviously it's affected. But the image is true that it doesn't destabilize. Don't you see it doing anything strange? The wind doesn't carry it away, but you have to be careful as it's a rather light drone. And it can track, according to the brand, up to 60 kilometers per hour. But well, they advise that with the follow mode from the rear, it should follow us up to 40 to 42 kilometers per hour. I have checked it at that speed and it doesn't lose you, even laterally, okay? With the side and front shots using dolly mode to follow you, okay? It will be able to go up to approximately 15 kilometers per hour. But let's go, the drone performs excellently. Observe how it navigates in, out, up, and down as needed. The truth is that it's amazing for not having omnidirectional recognition. I have tested it, some hits it has taken when doing a little more demanding tests. The truth is, the drone is still intact and flies wonderfully, as if nothing has happened to it. Well, I start recording the screen and I show you. We open the application, I turn on the device, I explain to you. Meanwhile, the home part that we will have here to inspire us to see different videos that the community uploads, it has already turned on. Here in the hover part, we will have access to the connection that we will make in this way. It has already connected to find our device, where we have already marked the starting point, and to our album section, where we will enter to see everything we have recorded. All the clips here, we have it hover world, all the videos that will be here, all recorded. Those that are on the card, on the secure digital, those that are inside the internal memory, those that have not been downloaded, those that have been downloaded, the videos and photos, we have independent access to all the content, okay? And within the hover setting, here we have an incredible amount of modes. We have the hover zoom out, the follow orbit, rear sight, dolly track, sky mode, cycling mode, indoor follow, 360, spin, side track, dolly zoom, and snapshot. Okay? Different modes, which, well, we are going to be able to use independently from here, from the mobile or from the beacon. For example, if we get into the hover, which would follow you in vlog mode, okay? We will have the continuous duration, or 30 seconds, the target tracking if we want it to track us or not, the shooting mode we have in normal, the high dynamic range, okay? The high dynamic range that will only let us get to 4060 photon shots per second. Just like in all modes. The slow motion mode that already configures it for us to 4000 to 120 frames or to 100 frames or 1080, 120 or 100 frames. With the 4K, I believe it's unnecessary to mention. The video is encoded in H.265 for superior quality and compression compared to H.264. We also have available and the filter if we want it to be standard, soft or vivid, okay? Then we also have the hover Tine mode, which will get us to 4K, also to 60 frames. But if we put it in normal mode, we can reach 8030 frames per second in all configurations. Obviously, we also have the option of vertical shooting to be able to shoot vertically. What will it do? Then a cut within the image that it records will not be set. In vertical, since it doesn't have 3 axes, it has 2. Is this okay? In all modes, we are going to be able to change it from here, from the section of the application, from the buttons or from the beacon. We are going to be able to change modes. Then we have the 4 neutral density filters over here, which I think are visible. The moment we put a neutral density yes, we will have to say here in the application which filter is on. So it doesn't recognize that there is low light and doesn't pull from International Organization for Standardization, simply that it works at the best exposure with the neutral density that we have on. Then, the sound recording option, which would be an option to be able to record, since it comes with a noise cancellation that we can put here. As you can see, the extreme or the normal, to eliminate the sound of the propellers. And can we talk from the mobile or from the beacon? I have tested and confirmed that the sound recording is slightly delayed compared to the video. But well, just so you know, in follow mode. We have a long distance and with a high altitude, and we are going to see with this neutral density 16 filter that we have on. How does it follow us with the padding? The image optimization, if we want it to be for face or for the environment, the firmware, where are we going to save? Here we can choose the switch between the secure digital or the internal memory. Okay, the Bose setting, the volume of the voice control, and the find me over, okay. Here we can turn it off or we can turn it on, also okay. The audio broadcast will play repeatedly until you press the button. The calibration I mentioned, we can do it here too, manually. Please note that for now, the language is only available in Chinese, Japanese, and English. And of course, the metric unit we want to use. Then we also have the smart preview here, which will give us a smart real-time preview. So we can see in real time with a small delay. And the manual control that we can handle with the joystick. As I mentioned, we can control it from here, take off, switch from photo or video, tilt the camera, and change the exposure settings, International Organization for Standardization, and shutter. Okay. Finally, the flight modes that we have here, which indicate, well, how they work. What does it refer to? Okay. And here we can see, well, examples, and we can directly create a video. From here, we have all the modes. So, well, the application would be everything you've seen, very fast, very effective. It has everything necessary. And I'll tell you a little about what we have here since you've seen it in the unboxing and the controllers. Here we have the right, which simply arrives with a click. It comes with all the cables for all the phones. In case we want to set it up this way and put the mobile phone here, we know that we can work like a normal drone by using our phone. Here we have the little wheel for the camera tilt, the shoot button, and the joysticks, the screen where we can see it. And we can also work with one hand, thus handling the height and moving the device with a joystick. This is the power case, which is, apart from being a cover, it serves us as a power bank to charge external devices or to charge the drone itself. As you can see, the images that come with the USB tips, in order to be able to charge independently, it would simply be to close the drone, put it in the case, and here it would already be inside. And this would protect from temperatures. As I mentioned before, if we go to the snow or if we are in any type of excessive weather. Here we have the USB-C charge, the back part, and it also comes with a strap just like this little case that also served us for the bike. As you can see, a set of accessories, an exceptional combo with which we will be able to fly for many hours. We are going to have all the options available. And the power core case, if I remember correctly, is 12,000 or 14,000 milliamp hours, which is more than enough to charge a device, okay? We leave you with a sample of images in the different modes. As you've seen throughout the video and in the images I've shown, this allows you to compare and see the differences. Also videos in 8K, in 4K, with the different tracking modes. The one I liked the most was the follow, the dolly track. Okay, so the bird's eye view goes ahead. I also really like the orbit. That's great for taking shots of environments like a lake, as I showed you before. Well, it's just that we have a ton of modes, which, well, I'm going to mention them briefly, okay? So you know what they are. But the truth is that it's more than enough. The orbit mode I mentioned, which I really enjoyed. The bird's eye view. The dolly track. We also have the ski mode and the cycling mode in case we are on the mountain, so it flies irregularly, and the cyclist mode, so it follows you. The indoor follow, for indoors, which truthfully behaves wonderfully as well. The 360 spin, which is also a new feature, it's for when we are in a gathering of people. You're with your friends, you put it in the middle and it starts recording around. Or do you want to record an environment? The side track, which would be for us to record laterally, to do tricks with our bike, with our skateboard, for whatever we want. Okay, the dolly zoom, that's going to give us a dolly zoom. What is it? Well, that. Use the vortex and snapshot. Just put your fingers to take a photo. And hover modes. These would be all the modes we have available. a very effective drone. I have this pack that I'm going to confirm for you. The price, the complete pack that you can see here, is around 1,300 euros. Depending on what you add or don't add, just the drone, it's 640 euros. If you start adding accessories, you're increasing the price. And my personal conclusions. It's a drone that I've loved. It works super well, responds very well, very light, very portable. It has very good features, handling it in different ways. With the case, with the bag for the trip, with the thermal batteries. In general, I've liked a drone a lot. Totally recommended if you are content creators, athletes, or you just like to travel and capture your memories in the best possible way. And that's it for this HoverAir. We will leave the link in the description. We are talking about the 10 Uno Pro Max. We will also give you access to their official page. Check it out. They have discounts. That's it. I hope you really liked the video. Thank you very much for being there. Leave your comments. It helps us a lot. Subscribe if you haven't, and see you in the next Tech Ground video. See you soon.